Hello everyone, EtherSong here, and I'm back with another Blue Protocol video. So the other day, the developers held their 10th Blue Protocol communication.
I don't know if this is about the models in game, but apparently they were gonna completely remove one of the models, female models that looks more like a child, which honestly is going a tad bit too far. I mean, there's lots of games that has childlike characters. And especially for like an anime game, there's in anime and in just anime games in general, there's always these character models that are kid-like, you know? The only ones that really, that has issues with it is the people that think everybody's like a child predator, which I'm pretty sure almost every human, like, okay, now I'm trying to find the best way to phrase this. Every normal, decent person isn't, you know? There's only a select few that would be like, yeah, man, this is what I want for my life, yeah? Yeah, so, most people are normal and will just be like, yeah, if I was a kid, yeah, man, this is exactly how I would be, and this is exactly the life I would want to live as a kid. I mean, that's why everybody connected to, with like Pokemon, because it's always Ash, and he's 10, and every kid and every adult would be like, man, I wish I was like Ash when I was younger, hey? Being sent off on my own into the open world, not having to worry about bills and money, and just, living my dream. That's why Pokemon is so big and massive. That and the Pokemon is awesome and cool and has special abilities, you know? So, them removing the character model completely is just plain and dumb and stupid. But that is my opinion.
Live stream, and let's just say it was very badly received by the Japanese community. There was a survey held at the end of the stream, and over 70% of the players said it was not a good stream. After the stream, many players went to vent their frustrations online as well on sites like 5chan and Twitter. So why is this stream so negatively received?
Please inform us.
Let's take a step back and look at what the stream was about and talk about what parts of it agitated players. The stream covered two main topics. The first was about fixes and adjustments being made to the game, and the second was about the upcoming August update. As usual, the developers talked about bug fixes being made and continued efforts to stop cheaters. Beyond that, they're also making adjustments.
It's a free-to-play game. It's early on there's bound to be cheaters. Tower of Fantasy had the same problem. And as far as I know, they've sorted out that mostly. I'm pretty sure there's still one or two that you can't catch, because they're too advanced. Or something along those lines. But give it time. Hopefully they'll obviously sort it out, especially for an online game that might have microtransactions, there's some risk over there, lots of risk, I'm sorry. But it's not the end of, well, it could be, but it's hopefully going to get sorted out reasonably soon before the global release happens, because that's even more money and bigger currency bills over there that's getting fucked, So just give it some time. Eventually, hopefully they'll sort it out, and if they don't soon, it might turn out like Tower Fantasy, where eventually it will, and eventually it will become a very good game. Tower Fantasy is a really very good game if you skip the first act.
To the adventure board system by increasing the number of boards that can be active at once and working to make improvements to the UI surrounding selecting and viewing these boards. These boards appear to be the developer's alternative approach to quests. They are a list of tasks connected by lines. By completing them, recipes, materials, and experience can be acquired. But since they have been introduced, many players have been frustrated by the micromanagement and limits that come with them. Originally, only 5 boards could be active at once, meaning players would constantly have to disable and enable boards based on the area they are in.
That sounds...
These boards can be spread across multiple areas, along with the difficulty of sorting through numerous boards.
It sounds like you're gonna spend lots of time managing that. That might be a problem.
So
but
the active
overall,
will
it's
help
I guess it's
alleviate
fine.
some of these problems, but many players still find the system to be quite the hassle to use.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna
Continuing
be
on,
kind
other
of
adjustments were made.
annoying.
Items acquired by Gasha can no longer be sent to others. It is now possible to gather while mounted, and drop rates for the beta skill upgrades have been increased. In addition, various changes have also been made to the classes. Blade Warden skills were adjusted to help them better fulfill their
Can't
role
read
as a
anything,
tank.
man.
However, the game currently doesn't have a hard trinity, and the Blade Warden has suffered as a result. Most enemies would just end up attacking whoever was dealing the most damage. The Foe Breaker itself better fills the role of the Blade Warden by being able to spin and group up enemies.
Yeah, that's why you need an aggro skill. Every MMO, as far as I know, every tank in every MMO has an aggro skill, you know? That's able to taunt the enemies towards the tank.
To see how these changes affect the Blade Warden.
If it doesn't, then I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Trying to figure out what they want to do with each of these classes. Beyond that, the Twin Striker got some minor adjustments. The Keen Strider had its basic attack damage increased and some cooldown times reduced. And finally, the Spellweaver and Foebreaker were both hit with nerfs. To give some context to this, most Spellweavers only use 3 skills, with the 4th skill sometimes swapped out. Concentrate to regenerate EP, Follow Bullets for extra damage when using a skill, and the Icicle skill to spam for damage.
Okay.
The final skill was often set to Blizzard for building up the party chain. In this update, both Icicle and Blizzard received nerfs.
Oh, that
Icicle
doesn't
got
sound
a
good.
reduced chance to flinch enemies, and Blizzard was changed to a 40-second cooldown. However, many players felt like the developers were nerfing skills because they were the most used ones, instead of considering why that is. The reason Icicle and Blizzard are used is because there are no better alternatives. The same can be said with the Foebreaker, who always takes Rock Body and Dust Vortex skills.
The fuck is that?
And in this update, we can see the Rock Body skill being
Swing to
nerfed
win.
as well.
Obviously, it's gonna be the better skill because it has AoE and it probably does decent amount of damage.
This lack of choice when choosing skills seems to be one of the main problems the game currently faces. To start, players can only equip 4 skills. Many of the skills that are available are lackluster, not interesting to use, and only have a simple function such as
For an MMO, that even an action RPG, having 4 skills is bad. That is horribly bad, man. Why only 4?
dealing damage with a small debuff.
That's dumb.
Despite there being only a small number of skills,
I mean, you can say that Genshin technically only has 4 skills because you have 4 characters, but each of those characters have 2 skills. Your skill and your ultimate, which is, if you add it up, it's technically 8. 2, 4, yeah, 8. So, on and off, maybe 6, 7, because the one might not have his ultimate back right away, but even then, it's still technically 8 skills. So having 4, that's kind of dookie. That's kind of bad.
many of the skills fulfill similar roles, meaning there's no reason to pick the weaker skill. Because of this, most classes end up only having one real build that is used. There's only an illusion of choice. However, it seems like the developers are aware
I'm
of
not gonna lie, when this white screen popped up, it burnt my eyes. Holy crap, is it bright.
problem with the skill numbers and diversity and said they are planning to do something about it. I personally would
squinting
like
at
to
the
be
moment,
able to
it's
equip more
bad.
than 4 skills. I think being able to equip around 6 skills would make the game feel a lot better.
Yes.
Also, I would like to see the skills have more diversity, defined functions, and impact.
But that is reworking a lot of skills for almost all classes, which that's gonna take a hell of a lot of time. I mean, they can do one class at a time every update, but that's gonna make people want to play those classes first, which isn't always bad, but it's gonna make the people that feel that play the other classes feel like they're not really, like they're wasting their time playing those classes until they get reworked, which again could be bad, could be good. It depends on how good the other classes are that are not reworked. So there's that.
Currently, there are just too many skills that perform the same role and simply aren't fun to use. I'll be looking forward to what changes they make to this area of the game. Depending on how they approach it, the game's combat could become a lot more interesting.
or it could get a hell of a lot
But
worse.
returning to the class changes, these nerfs to Spellweaver and Foebreaker made many players question the developers. Are they nerfing for the right reasons? Do they need to be nerfing skills this early on?
No.
By nerfing skills,
They
could
should-
they just end up...
They should up power creep, I know. Not a lot of people like it. But they should power creep the other skills to where the current skills are. Make them stronger, make them function a tad bit better. You know? Tweak those skills to make them more viable. That is what they should do. It is harder than nerfing the current meta skills, yes. But overall, it will lead to a more balanced game than nerfing. That's why I always say, unless it's an FPS game, always power creep shit. I don't know why people hate it. Is it because their favorite gun is gonna get power creep by this less favorite gun or build? Maybe. Or it will make the game more balanced by giving you more options so that you can replay the game multiple times over. Instead of nerfing the better builds so you all play with dookie ass builds and feel like, man, now I'm really wasting my time. Just power creep the other fucking skills, man. You don't have to make it better. Just make it even. That's all that you have to do. That's literally all. Just bring them to the level to where the other skills are. And if you can't raise the damage, then you change how it functions. I mean, if multiple of the skills in this game functions the same, and some of them has less damage, so you use the better ones, then just tweak the one that is not being used a tad bit, not increasing the damage, just tweak it a tad bit better to make it more viable. And if that doesn't work, increase the damage by 1 or 2 itty bitty bits, and then make it then more viable. That's literally all you have to do. Lower the cooldown, or up the damage, or tweak it so you can do animation cancels, or so on and so on. That's literally all you have to do. Is it harder? Yes, obviously, but I'm going round and round in circles at the moment, man.
Some players felt like the developers shouldn't be focusing too heavily on class balance currently because there are many more important areas of the game that need to be looked at. Moving on, we got some information about the upcoming August update. The main draw of this update is the Blitz Lancer, a new class. Apart from that, some new areas and missions are also being added to the game. This update is also bringing some new choices to the beauty salon. This includes some new hairstyles, a new two-tone color option, and some new makeup options. The shop is also getting some new items added to it, including a bundle celebrating the new class. But most players feel like the $14 price tag is a little too much for a bundle consisting mostly of junk consumables. Pricing concerns are the same for other items as well. Things like hats, glasses, and hair accessories are also being added, but at around a $7 price point. A new maid and butler gacha and a pig mount gacha was also introduced along with some new weapon skins. Seems like the players like the new clothing, weapon skin, and
oh my god, that is adorable.
However, many players also find the prices for the gacha itself to be too high, costing around $3.50 per pull, and having a huge chance to just get a junk consumable.
That is bad.
Certain gestures can only be acquired by doing the gacha a set number of times, with the best gesture requiring you to pull the gacha 30 times. No one is excited to spend $100 to acquire a gesture.
Yeah.
Overall, the monetization system in this game as a whole is incredibly expensive, with the best clothing options being locked behind gambling.
That is kind of bad, but it's...
120 pulls,
I guess it's kind of expected because it's a free-to-play anime game. But if they lowered the price a bit or just, made other clothing more accessible, that looks good, with being able to change the colors, to what you prefer, I think people wouldn't mind the price tag. But because all of the best looking things is locked behind a paywall and you can't change the colors of the current clothes, I believe, then yeah, the price is kinda unreasonable. Oof, fuck, I nearly
is gambling and only
pressed
gives
the wrong
you
button
a
there.
random outfit. I saw many comments during the stream saying that developers only want to leech as much money as possible from the whales before they shut down the game's servers.
I better not. I want to play. Even if the game is kinda dookie, I still want to technically play it. Because I want to experience the bad and the good of the game. So it better not shut down before the global release. I am not using a VPN to play on to play the game in writing I don't fucking understand, because it may sound like I'm at a shop and I have this really good item and I'm like, yeah, let's enhance, but I click sell, I'm gonna be pissed. So I'd rather not deal with that.
Pass. One clothing set is acquired through Season Pass ranks, and another clothing set can be bought in the Season Store with Season Points. However, clothing like the one seen here in the Season Store is just a poor reskin of the starter outfit in the game and is just not that appealing. Players want to see new outfits, not just poor reskins. While the Season Store was a letdown, the clothing options from the August event looked to be overall very nice. Most players looked like they were excited for these. Moving on, the stream then showed off the new Blitzlancer class. This should have been the main event of the stream, and the part that players get excited to play the game for. However, this is where everything went south. To begin, the developers said that the media would be giving specifics about the class at a later date, so they won't discuss the class's skills in detail in the stream.
I feel like the camera's a bit too zoomed in, my opinion.
This left many players wondering, why wouldn't the details about the class be given
you could zoom out, that would be better.
Was supposed to showcase it.
Especially with so much chaos happening, zooming out would be even better. It would be so useful.
They were left speculating whether the developers actually even knew the details about the class. In any case, instead of talking about the class, the developers decided to show the 3 of them using it in a dungeon in the game. The developers then went on to spend literally 10 minutes
fucking see what's happening
in the dungeon
without
any commentary or explanation.
Oh my eyes,
People
what the
watching
fuck?
the stream were left sitting there to listen to the developers clicking the keyboard in silence for 10 minutes while having no clue about what was happening.
To be expected. Let's continue. Someone off camera is whispering in the ear saying, press this button, then that button, and then you do this combo, and then you do it again and again and again and again. And then you pop a health potion when your HP falls below 50, you know? Wow. Well done.
Players were left wondering why a video showcasing the class wasn't prepared. Just when people thought that stream couldn't get any worse, it did. The developers held a Q&A session open to questions about the new class. However, the developers didn't know the answers to certain questions about the class and began saying things like, it does this, doesn't it? At least this is what I thought it did. Am I wrong? I can't remember either. Was it 2 or 3? It's probably 3. I'm not sure about this either.
No way.
This probably happens. I can't remember right now. The developers went on to do this back and forth for more than 5 minutes, trying to remember what the new class actually does and
look at him, he's looking over at the computer to see what the answer is.
various situations. Keep in mind, this was after 10 minutes of them playing the class in silence. People in the stream were left dumbfounded watching the developers who, in a Q&A session, were so uncertain of the class they were supposed to be answering questions about. Comments flooded in questioning if the developers even played the new class before. Others asked for someone who actually knows about the class to answer the questions. The final nail in the coffin was when the stream ended by giving out serial codes to junk items that no one cared about.
Yeah, that's mainly how it is.
In summary, there were many small factors up until now and throughout the stream
that
left players feeling frustrated. These include things like the Avenger board system, unnecessary class balances, over-the-top monetization, and a lack of content and satisfying endgame. However, what pushed players over the edge was the developers' lack of ability to show off and explain a new Blitzlancer class. The developers seemed clueless to how many of the class features worked. This left many players feeling like the developers don't even care about their own game enough to learn what the new class coming to it does. Up until now, there have been many other instances
bad, man. This
where
is
obvious problems
horrendously
in the
bad.
game weren't addressed until players pointed them out. Players are starting to feel like the developers don't have a proper understanding of the game from a player's perspective. To add insult to injury, this stream is also coming right after the announcement that Bandai Namco Online's other game, Gundam Evolution, will be shutting down its servers.
Oh, really?
I saw a comment in the stream saying, "What is the point of playing the game if there isn't anything to do and it'll just shut down as well?" While I don't feel as negative about the game as this, I can't deny that this last developer livestream was an embarrassment to watch. And it is true that the game does lack content. I'm still hoping the developers can turn things around by improving various aspects of the game, such as build variety, the number of skills and choices, adding more
Well, they better sort something out soon, otherwise none of us is playing the game.
And more content that promotes cooperation with other players. Beyond that, life features such as housing would be a great match for the game, but the other core aspects of the game should probably be improved.
I feel like housing should come way later in the game. For the sole fact that if it comes out now, it's just gonna be like a money grab. Because if they are gonna be shutting down the servers, then it's literally just going to be a money grab. They're gonna monetize the shit out of it. You're gonna have to pay to get a house. And if you don't, you're gonna have to pay for the best looking furniture, fuck, I can't speak. And then that's it. You're not gonna be able to invite anybody over, because if they do that, it's most likely gonna be wonky and glitchy and laggy. So, honestly, I hope they fix the game first before they bring in stuff like that.
First. In addition, fixing the horrible shop prices and removing gacha also goes without saying, but
yeah, they're not going to remove the gacha. I don't see that happening, because Fantasy Star Online is Fantasy Star Online also technically has a gacha system, but because the game is so good, and like I haven't played it in many years at the moment, and when I did, I only did like the first, I want to say 10 hours of it, and then I got caught up in other stuff in my life, so I do want to go back to the game, but that game is doing pretty well at the moment, so yeah, they're not going to remove it. There's no way.
Changes to those would probably be more unlikely to see, unfortunately. Overall, while this stream alone didn't cause all the damage, it seems like it served as the tipping point for a large number of players, leaving them frustrated and with a grim outlook on the future of the game. However,
I feel like this dude has a proper understanding on just how deep in shit they are at the moment. And this dude just looks clueless, man. He doesn't... I don't think he's supposed to be on here. And this dude, I don't know what the hell he's thinking about, but he's not happy to be here.
I do want to make it clear. I'm not covering this topic because I want the game to fail. Rather, I want it to succeed, as I'm sure many of the other players who watch the stream do as well. Once players stop caring altogether is when the game is truly in trouble.
He's not wrong.
In case, hopefully the developers can continue to improve the game and regain the trust of their players. Let me know what you think of this situation in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Later.
Okay, well then. I was very optimistic in the beginning, but at the moment I just don't see it. Man, I hope that they sort out this game. I really do want to play it. I was looking forward to it all of last year, man. And then, like, fuck me, man. I just can't believe it. This is going horribly wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Should they power creep the classes? Should they do whatever? Let me know, and hope you guys enjoyed.